There's a light in the sky, rising in the air. There's a feeling so strong. It's time to light the fire, like a bright shining light. Love, getting more out of life. Love, sharing time with friends, feeling so strong.
Hello and welcome to the House of Wellness. I'm Luke Darcy, and always fantastic to be alongside Joe Stanley. Welcome, Joe.
It's always a delight to be here with you too, Darcy. I really love it. And can you believe how fast the year has flown by? We're almost at school holidays again.
Extraordinary, isn't it, Joe? And has been a challenging time for almost everyone across Australia. And we're really feeling for people who've had, the experience of lockdown and kids away from school. And it has gone quick, Joe, but I think there's some joy around the corner. I feel like we're about to enter a pretty positive phase.
Yeah, but I really want to just acknowledge what our kids have been through and the incredible resilience of them. We always say kids are resilient and they can roll with the punches and that sort of stuff, but also I think they need support and a toolbox to help them do that. So I just think our children have been amazing.
Yeah, beautifully said, Joe. And you and I share that combined passion for the power of meditation, and we have shared that with our own family. My wife, Beck, teaches meditation now. My kids often roll their eyes when they hear me go into a talk about meditation. They go, not again. We understand you want us to do it.
Dad.
Not really something we need to discuss. But it is interesting, Joe, because I've seen them all, whenever something's coming up that they're maybe stressed about or really care about, they've all got this practice they can fall back on. And I know you've shared the same with Willow.
Oh, look, I just think it's the greatest thing you can arm your kids with. And what a brilliant job you're doing with your four kids, Das and Beck.
Thank you.
Beck,
sorry.
Beck.
That's right.
But no, I think it's really amazing that you're giving them that gift, and I try to do that for Willow. It was really great when she started in primary school, prep and year one. She was taught mindfulness and meditation right from the beginning, and I was like, oh, yeah, tell me about it, and she promptly gave me a lesson.
You need to think of your monkey mind. Do you know what your monkey mind is?
No. What's my monkey mind?
Your monkey mind is you're thinking what happened in the past. You're thinking what you do next, what you actually want to do. When you're supposed to think of the present, which is the now. And so when you think of that in your brain, that's how you do mindfulness. And you're always over the rainbow.
How cute is that, her and her monkey mind?
That may be the cutest thing you could ever possibly see, Willow, which is sensational. And I love the fact that she's brought that home to you, Joe, from school and combine your passion together. And often the focus for today's educators is more on social and emotional learning, which I think is fantastic, particularly in primary schools. And as you know, Joe, I'm really passionate about looking at what makes a great leader and how people can positively impact others. So helping kids to do exactly that from a young age is key.
Well, now, Das, I think you're being kind of modest. It sits very well with you, modesty, actually. But I know that you've been directly responsible for a big change in a school on Adelaide's south coast. One of its teachers, Sam Healy, came to hear you speak at a recent leadership conference, and what you said about the power of meditation actually had a massive impact on him.
Well, I feel really fortunate in this story in lots of ways, Joe. Sam is just an incredible guy. Came up to me after the talk I did on meditation, said, I'm going to take this to my school and I'm going to transform my school. And when you think, well, good luck, I hope that works out. But he literally has gone and done that in the most profound way. Aldinga Primary School is located in South Australia, and they've had some pretty tough challenges and some issues, as most primary schools do. But Sam has developed a program where he taught the teachers a toolbox of techniques to influence the students in a profound way. I'm incredibly stoked with the results, and there's been, well, Joe, take a look, but for me, nothing short of mind-blowing.
We have 705 students here, which is very large for a primary school. We have kids here with autism, learning disabilities. Trauma is a big thing for us.
Yeah, we see kids in unsafe situations at home. We see kids who just from broken families, which again in our culture is not a uncommon thing. They're not coming in settled. They might be coming in so relieved to get to school after something's happened in the morning.
2 years ago, South Australian primary school teacher Sam Healy started meditating every morning before class. It didn't take him long to notice profound benefits for his well-being.
We all live such busy lives, and I honestly just enjoyed having that time just to sit and just be with myself for a little while. But it also gave me a bigger understanding around the intent of meditation in terms of the connection to self-awareness. When you feel comfortable, when you feel ready to, just close your eyes. Just really start listening to my voice, the tone of it.
As he found himself becoming less stressed and more focused, Sam decided to experiment with teaching the same techniques to his Year 3 and 4 students, alongside co-teacher Alicia Wren.
Wriggling out our hands, finding a nice, good fit spot for them to rest, maybe on your belly or down by your side. I think the biggest thing was us sharing that we were on the same journey with them, so it wasn't that we had so much more knowledge than them, that we were all starting the journey together, and I think it just created this openness in the classroom that allowed them to share a lot more of their thoughts.
Taking a deep breath in now through the nose. Let it out.
At first, I didn't really think. I thought we were just sitting there doing nothing. And then about like a month later, I was like, wow, this is really calming.
When I'm stressed, I know to do the breathing, and I just feel different.
It helps me be calm around all my friends. If I'm in a situation, I know I can just go do it somewhere and I'll be calmer.
Being a teacher, you want to be in control naturally. So I remember thinking the more I spoke, the better it would be. But again, that reflection and the feedback with the kids is always an important part of teaching. So quickly, they ended up telling me they wanted less guidance. They wanted more time with themselves. And I remember that moment of, wow, this is actually working. Empty those lungs. Good.
As Sam and Alicia's students became more and more invested in their daily meditation, the school leadership team began to take notice.
I used to come and watch what was going on in there. I saw children in there who were less stressed. I saw engagement in learning, much less behaviour in that room, and that got us interested.
Sam was asked by the school to create a new training program for his fellow teachers. The goal was to help them discover the value of meditation so that they could go on to replicate Sam's success in the classroom.
What we found was, teachers quickly became able to meet demands really effortlessly. They started enjoying the work a little bit more. Not only is that obviously affecting that individual teacher, it's affecting the entire learning and well-being of the students in that classroom.
Maybe a sentence for each of those leaves, that would be really good. When you're a teacher, a lot of your life is about trying your best to meet other people's needs. But what Sam has taught us is that we need to prioritise ourselves as well.
We've chosen this career because it's an exciting career with all of these demands in it. And so instead of getting into that state of getting stressed about report writing time or interviews or anything like that, because of our meditation, we were able to do that with energy and with a sense of calm and things like that.
Okay, so this is a thinking technique that helps us step away from thoughts that might come from negativity and it's affecting your thought process.
By June this year, 21 teachers at Aldinga Primary were guiding their students in daily meditation and mindfulness sessions.
We have found that they are far more focused, they are calmer, more in touch with types of emotions and being able to recognise their emotions, and within recognising emotions we're able to talk to them about their emotions without feeling the fear of being judged, without feeling like self-conscious about talking to us.
So I was in a forest, a rainforest, and there was a waterfall, and it would change colours whenever I felt a different emotion.
Wow. Our focus at the moment, after we've done our breathing techniques, is to go to our happy place. So I'm having kids who are, in their meditation, they're seeing pets that have passed away, and they're talking about things like, I felt so happy, but I also felt sad. So they're deep conversations to have with kids, and I find that having discussions around those things is helping them to understand how they feel about lots of things. And the meditation's a really powerful part of that.
I felt happy because when I saw that I was bleeding, I told you first, and it made me feel happy because it made me feel like I was helping my body.
So you had a problem and you fixed it yourself and it made you feel really happy. The intention is to listen to what everyone's experiencing and understand that everyone's feeling something different. And the way that every single person is feeling is the right way to feel. Because a lot of children grow up thinking that they're the only person that is feeling a particular way and that that's wrong. And so it's really important to understand that the way that every child is feeling is exactly how they should be feeling, and to understand that we're all feeling different things, and that develops empathy and compassion and even listening skills, which at this stage is huge.
When my brother annoys me, I go to my bedroom and I do some deep breaths.
I think it's helped our school by being calmer, not so angry.
I've just seen less bullying. People are nicer to each other.
Yeah, more kids in like Australia should do it.
All right, everyone, get ready for some meditation.
All those students know the skills necessary to meditate, and now they have it for life if they ever need it. So that was our big takeaway, that we can teach these skills as long as we do it with authenticity, as long as we do it with honesty and experience. Then, yeah, the kids are gonna feed off that and be inspired by that.
Oh, look, Joe, it just makes me smile to see the impact it's had on Aldinga Primary, and to see teachers who are really under more pressure and more stress than they've ever been, to have a tool that's supporting their well-being and their health, and for them to be able to pass that on to the kids and arm them with something that they've got for life, just feels like a really powerful and worthwhile thing to do, a little bit like what Willow did in bringing mindfulness back to you for discussion.
Oh, look, and the great thing is that you can teach it in a really age-appropriate way. So when Willow was really little, she learned about breath and how to really just sort of engage with that sensation in her body. And now that she's sort of pre-teen, she's really understanding how she can recognise what her triggers are, what's going to make her a little bit agitated, and she can kind of know, well, I can preempt that and actually be ready to calm myself in different ways. So you kind of grow with the knowledge as you get older. It's fantastic.
And arming our teachers with that skill set to meet the kids, as you said, where they are at the most age-appropriate time is something I'm incredibly proud to be part of. And Sam Healy and I have teamed up with former Crows superstar Brett Burton to take things further, as we now want to get this program to schools across the country with a bit of luck. And I'll tell you how we plan to do it right after the break. Before the break, we went to Aldinga Primary School in South Australia to see a revolution that's taking place in their classrooms. It involves one of our shared passions, Joe, and that is meditation.
Yeah, the school has around 800 students and many of them face tough times, including at home. And as you know, Dar, school can be a really daunting place, but when things aren't great at home, it makes life so much harder.
Well, an incredible teacher at the school, Sam Healy, has been teaching kids meditation to help them develop better coping skills. It has seen amazing results. Now Sam and I want to take this program to schools around the nation, and we're not doing it alone. Adelaide Crows superstar Brett Burton is joining the Crusade to give all the kids and their teachers a lesson in how to keep calm in the classroom and in life. Hey Sam, firstly, congratulations. We met a few years back and discussed meditation, and for you to go and take that and really go on this journey of learning yourself, and then to transform your school and impact so many people and teachers and kids already is a great achievement. You must be really proud of it.
Yeah, thank you. It's something that came from your passion, and that has always been a big part of my learning and what I've been striving to do in terms of working with others. Just make sure that passion's at the forefront of everything you do, because I saw firsthand, coming from you, and the power that it can have.
You're both parents. Sam, you're an underachiever with just 2 kids. Brett's got 5 alongside of you, and it's personal for you too, Brett, isn't it? Because one of your daughters had some challenges in the mental health capacity, and you've seen meditation on the home front be really beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my oldest daughter's had some, just some challenges around, phobia and OCD, which is quite prevalent in that younger age group from around about 10 to 15. So, meditation's been one of the things that's been really beneficial for her, and just a technique just to be able to calm her and help her anxiety. So we know that these days the kids are under so much pressure and expectation, largely driven through platforms like social media, and so their ability just to be able to, I guess, just be and handle that pressure and that anxiety anxiety and stress that they become accustomed to is important, and meditation is one one component to be able to do that.
And I love, Brett, you want to roll up the sleeves and try and impact many and start this social venture, Sam, and support what you've done. Is that the vision now, to try and take this to as many kids and as many teachers as possible?
Yeah, if we can run 7 programs working with small groups of teachers, then there's a possibility to reach like 13,000 kids just in a year. The aim is to have these kids meditating at least once every day in class. The benefits of that just roll out naturally. The opportunity to be able to roll this out first here and in South Australia and seeing firsthand what it can do, and then rolling it out as much as we can, it's so exciting. And it's something that hasn't really been done in this way before. It's a really specific way of teaching the kids the skills around how to meditate rather than just expecting them to do it.
And Brett, we know there's a great need for counsellors in schools, but some of the educators that we've been speaking to have said really, we're catching kids then at the point where they have developed challenges, and the idea of this is just arming teachers and kids with a toolbox of preventative techniques that you can have for life, that to essentially have this as part of the curriculum, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we all understand that prevention is better than cure in any health component, and so that's what it is about. It's not just a meditation, as you said. It's a toolbox. So Sam's been able to develop component of breathing and mindfulness and meditation, because we know that there's not a one size fits all when it comes to looking after your mental health. And we're challenged by thoughts every day. And the research says that we have 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts a day, which is mind-blowing when you think about that. But the problem is that a large percentage of those are negative, and another large percentage of those are repetitive. And so if we can arm kids with this ability to be able to catch their thoughts and be present and not think about the negatives and not think about the past, and control what they can control and be in a more positive mindset, then that's going to help.
Look forward to supporting this as much as we possibly can. Thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Darcy.
Good on you, Darcy. Thank you, mate.
It's estimated that half of all mental health conditions people experience in their lives start by the age of 14, and 58% of teachers say they feel significant stress in their jobs. So benefits of this program really can't be overstated, and congratulations, Darcy. It's just amazing.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Really excited about the opportunity to try and take this around the country and support Sam Healy and Brett Burton in the work that they're doing. It's felt like there's never been a more important time with the stress that our kids have faced. So we're trying to create a social venture and bring it to as many people as possible. Stay tuned on that one. We'll be back right after the break.
Welcome back to the House of Wellness Kitchen, where my partner in health, GQ, and I just love showing the power foods have to benefit our health. We're talking things like our mood, skin health, brain function, even sleep.
And Heinz, it has a domino effect, because our inability to sleep has a knock-on effect to other aspects of our health.
Which is why I'm making my lime splice smoothie bowl, which contains many ingredients, things like bananas, spinach, nuts, that are packed with magnesium, which all help that process of falling to sleep.
And magnesium is, of course, a mineral found in the earth, in the sea, in plants, animals, humans. And every cell in our body requires magnesium to function efficiently. In the area of sleep, magnesium calms the mind, relaxes the muscles and our whole body, and prepares us for a great night's sleep.
Mate, it is such a busy world, so anything that's going to calm my mind and slow me down gets my vote. Just like this smoothie bowl is going to get yours.
You're also going to love what I've got for you from the herbal world, and that's passion flower to get those precious Z's. Used in traditional Western herbal medicine, passion flower settles restless sleep in times of stress and generally promotes healthy sleep.
Now, mate, I'm all about using plants in my cooking, but passion flower, not so much.
Yeah, that's fair enough, Heinzie, but passion flower can be found in combination with magnesium in powdered supplement form to have either hot or cold before bed.
Well, that happens to be exactly where I'm heading now to have my smoothie bowl. See you, mate.
Now, Heinzie, hang on. You're going to spill it in your bed. It's worse than breadcrumbs. Heinzie, Heinzie.
The A to Z of vitamins is brought to you by Ethical Nutrients.
Evidence-based, meticulously crafted with premium ingredients for real results.
That was Hinesy and GQ in the kitchen there going bananas, Joe, for a good night's sleep. Now, changing gear, which is a big change of gear, to school shoes. My house, I've got little Maxie, who's about a size 6, up to the 18-year-old Sam, who's now size 15, heading towards a size 16. So, bit of a challenge trying to find school shoes that fit, Joe.
I just don't know how you even afford school shoes for 4 kids and how fast they grow. In our house, the main issue is finding the pair. We always have one when we're getting ready for school. Can never find the second.
Yeah, I'm blaming your dog for that.
Oh, Daisy's had a good crack at school shoes.
Assuming that's exactly where your other shoe is. One of the biggest frustrations for parents is investing in a decent pair of shoes that is rarely cheap, let's be honest, only to have the kids grow out of them before they've even been broken in. Plus, the hand-me-downs don't always work. And have you tried to squeeze the life out of an old pair of Willow's school shoes to get through another term or another year?
Yes, Willow's ending primary school this year, so I'm like, you're wearing that until the end of this year. I don't care what you say. But the school shoes, though, often don't really make it because they're just worn to death, aren't they? So forget stressing about whether your child is doing their homework or what to put in their lunchbox. Each year, where to find and how to fit a good pair of shoes is the #1 question that has frazzled parents punching into Google, and it seems the old school measurement style may not be the best way to go.
The issue that we have with children's shoes is that when parents buy them, what they can't always account for is the growth spurts that children have. So we find that children's shoes can go from being well fitted to being far too small very quickly. Studies have shown that between 15 to 50% of children are actually wearing shoes that aren't an adequate length for them. But to be honest, the study had never been done to actually see what the impact is on children when they wear a size too small.
As a leading podiatry expert and a mother, Dr. Helen Banwell was the perfect fit to oversee the University of South Australia's research into the effects of ill-fitting school shoes.
So the study looked at children aged 8 to 12. The reason we use that age is because by that age they're quite capable in following instructions, and to be honest we're a little bit frightened in using younger children because we couldn't imagine they'd follow our instructions very well.
Okay, Amy, come on over and we'll get started.
Using 3D motion analysis technology, Dr. Banwell worked with biomechanics expert Dr. John Arnold to measure the precise impact that small shoes have on children's movement.
This study involved having children wear footwear that was fitted correctly, as well as one size too small, and we were interested in how that may impact the movement of their foot and legs during walking, and also how high and how far they're able to jump. Because we know that for kids to function at their best, they need to be able to obviously walk around, but also do the other play activities without being impeded. So what we found was that the shoes that were too small restricted the motion of the foot by about 30%, and this restricted motion of the big toe joint as well as motion of the heel and the arch.
Given how active most kids are throughout the school day, Dr. Banwell says even a slight restriction of movement can cause serious damage.
So the negative impacts that we see clinically in children that are wearing shoes too small are things around nail changes. They can actually get blackened nails because they're hitting the end of their toe on the toe box of the shoe repetitively all day, and it actually bruises the toes. And the other thing is they get similar skin changes to adults in that the skin can actually thicken up and start to become calloused and quite painful.
Unfortunately, growth spurts for feet don't always happen at the same time as growth spurts for height. So it's no wonder that sometimes parents and kids don't realise it's time for a new pair. Thankfully, there's an easy way to check.
The shoes that were found in this study to be the most comfortable were fitted to the rule of thumb. So the rule of thumb is where the person themselves has the width of their thumb difference between their longest toe and the end of the shoebox. And encouragingly, we found that in children, that was the best level of comfort that they gained.
I love being a makeup artist and sharing special occasions with people. There's always the excitement of anticipating a big event. I am so lucky in my job. I get to work with the most amazing people and beautiful faces like today, you. Hi, Ella.
Hi, Jade.
Well, I'm sure you're no stranger to behind the scenes and sometimes having some treats like today's champagne.
Thank you.
And sometimes caviar. Now, not only is caviar amazing and tastes beautiful, but it's also nourishing for our skin.
Cheers.
So what I hear from so many clients is their concern about the skin around their eye area. It's the part we look at first in person and even in photos. And it's also the very first part of our face that shows visible signs of aging. The reason why around our eyes we're more prone to wrinkles is we have less production of collagen and also fewer oil glands. So if you're looking for that beautiful, flawless look, it's really important to address the loss of firmness and any dark circles. I'm always on the lookout for a product that creates that beautiful, smooth canvas. While I'm researching what products to recommend and use myself, I make sure they come from a trusted skincare brand with clinically proven results. Dr. Lewin's Intensive Action Caviar Eye Serum is a great example. It reduces the appearance of lines and wrinkles by up to 35% and increased skin brightness by up to 174%. All clinically proven results. So my secret weapon in this sensitive and important area is cosmeceuticals, which basically means that the product has advanced and active ingredients, things like caviar extract, vitamin C, and peptides. And that makes it highly effective when addressing those skincare concerns. So I always like to use my ring finger and I like to dab it on to the eye area. And don't forget to, while you're doing it, massage it. It's a very delicate area. And to also apply it to your eyelids. My tip is if you have time, leave the serum on your eye area for a couple of minutes, then apply your face serum, your eye cream and your moisturiser. Let all your skin soak it in and then go through to your SPF and makeup. So now my favourite part, adding concealer. Just dab it on to kind of the outer corner and inner corner of the eye. Now that the serum has done all that hard work for us, it's just about adding a little bit more dimension to your face. So now to finish your look, Ella, we're going to add a little mascara, a little eyeliner and lip gloss. Now that is a smooth, bright and healthy looking eye.
It really is. Thank you so much. It looks amazing.
Thank you. I'm happy.
Jade Kay there, proving that the eyes have it. Now, Das, I know you've had your eyes tested after a fleeting concern about your vision.
Well, mainly because you thought I couldn't read properly.
Keep squinting like this.
20/20 vision, Joe, was the end result. I'm very happy to say.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with these eyes. Like, sometimes I must admit when reading a phone, a little bit tricky. Now, I'm not sure if that's the light thing, maybe.
Yes, well, vitamin A, Das, that is the magic vitamin when it comes to clear vision. It's a component of a protein we have in our eyes that allows you to see in low light conditions.
Now, while we're talking about protein, Joe, how about managing the protein intake? Because as someone who had a vegan phase, how did you go?
I never said I was vegan. I said I was going to experiment with a plant-based diet.
And how did that go?
Well, I do love my meat, but I love vegetables, OK? And so I sort of opted with a blend of both because there's been a stack of research into the whole protein debate in recent years, with most experts agreeing that swapping some meat for plant-based proteins is the way to go. And so that is what I decided to do.
And we're really proud of you, Joe. Congratulations. I think you're handling that really well. Well, the main thing is that most people in Australia are meeting their protein needs. In fact, many of us actually eat too much, Joe.
I think you can really get bogged down in the detail, though, Das, if you're considering ditching the meat for health, animal welfare or environmental reasons, which is why I plan to eat less meat. You can just plant more veggies, nuts and grains in your daily diet and still get your daily protein fix.
Protein are made of amino acids, which are the building blocks for things like muscle mass, hormones, and basically for our body to function properly. So we do need it in our diet. We can't produce it, so you need to consume protein. A lot of people think that if a product is plant-based, they are automatically healthier. That's definitely not the case.
Usually a vegetarian diet will be a little more bulky than a meat diet because sometimes you'll need a bit more of the food itself to meet those protein needs. There are lots of great sources of plant proteins around, so things like nuts and seeds and legumes like chickpeas and lentils and kidney beans, soy and tofu and those sorts of foods are all packed full of plant proteins. There are a lot of plant protein-based products that are in our supermarkets these days, and like any types of foods, the quality can vary from product to product. So some of them that are made from things like legumes or from soy are really great healthy products that have got fibre and a whole lot of other nutrients. But then of course there's going to be some other ones as well that are quite highly processed and maybe fairly high in sodium. So like anything, it's a good idea to think about which options you're choosing.
Recent research into the gut microbiome and its importance in overall health has generated a whole new approach towards a plant-based diet.
The more we learn about it, the more we learn that plant foods and variety of plant foods in particular are really, really good for gut health, and that too much meat is detrimental to gut health. So that's not to say that you can't have any meat at all, but it's about having variety and having a bit of both in your diet so you're not having too much of any one thing.
Vegans, it's a very good way to go, but there are two important nutrients that you may be missing out from your diet. That's B12, which you can only get from animal products, and iron. So the amount of iron you get from plant sources, that kind of iron is not well absorbed. So for vegans, they may need supplementation of B12 and iron possibly as well.
Australia is one of the top 3 countries in the world, along with China and the US, that has a high meat consumption. Dietitian Joanna Baker says we eat way too much.
We know that when we're looking at meat proteins, they often come with things like saturated fats, and they are implicated, or they are biomarkers for increasing cholesterol. They have detrimental effects on the health. They do change the pH of the bowel and they do increase the risks of bowel cancer.
So, the final word? More fruit and veggies and perhaps a little less meat.
What we could improve in our diet is the amount of vegetables we are consuming. We're definitely not meeting our recommendations for vegetables, and increasing the amount of vegetables would do very good things to our health, and fruit as well if we can.
We don't only eat for nutrition, we also eat for enjoyment, we eat for satisfaction, we eat for social connection, and having plenty of variety is not only going to keep you physically healthy, but it's also going to be mentally healthy as well. At the end of the day, it's all about balance. Your body does need a little bit of everything.
So Hinesy's talked a lot about the plant-based choices popping up in supermarkets these days, things like pasta made of chickpeas and whole grain breakfast cereals. Must admit, not a huge fan on that front, but I prefer the real versions, Jane. Let me ask you this question. If you had to choose between a meat protein or a plant protein food to take to a desert island, what would you choose?
Well, I have to admit, I love veggies, but I'm going to choose a meat place. Well, no, actually, salmon is my favourite kind of protein. And I could maybe catch it whilst on the desert island. Do you think?
Potentially, Joe.
And so what would you take?
Do you know what I'm thinking, Joe? I'm going to go the avocado. Did you know that avocado is one of the most protein-rich fruits? There's 4 grams of protein in avocado. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but it goes nicely with my salmon for breakfast. We're a match on that deserted island.
Sounds good.
Hi, I'm Jade Kisnorbo and welcome to my world of beauty. From the latest trends in skincare and makeup to creating a look that's just right for you, I've got the tips and tricks to make you look and feel great from the inside out. Taylor, I've got a new beauty term for us to discuss today, skinification.
What is that?
So, it's a new beauty trend towards foundation where coverage alone is just not enough. So, people are wanting more skincare benefits. They want to know what ingredients are in these foundations whilst achieving a beautiful, luminous, flawless glow.
It's funny you say that because I actually always put a serum into my True Match foundation, and L'Oreal Paris have now done it for me.
They've listened.
They've listened. So the new True Match Nude Tinted Serum is helping plump your skin, but then you're also getting that gorgeous sort of tone of your foundation coming through as well.
It really is the perfect makeup and skin cocktail.
I'll take it.
L'Oreal Paris as a brand is iconic. So first off, it's from my favourite city, Paris, where I have been fortunate to work, and I just love, in terms of beauty and makeup, they're ahead of all of us, and the trends that they're creating, not just following. Taylor, the application is really simple. So you pick one of the 9 available blendable shades and simply give that a really good shake. Before application, it will activate. And the skincare benefits come from the 1% pure hyaluronic acid. And what that does is it plumps up your skin and leaves it feeling and looking really smooth.
Well, I love that it's got this little applicator. It makes it very easy.
It's so good. And I think the best way to apply it is just like you did. Pop 2 to 3 drops in the palms of your hands and then lightly use your fingertips to work it in, warm it up a little and press it into your skin. And just combining that motion of how you would put on foundation and skincare.
Well, it's sliding over the skin so easily, and it would be from that serum.
Yeah, we're all about that beautiful, flawless, healthy skin where you haven't tried too hard. You want to look like you just stepped out of bed and you have this beautiful glow about you, and it's down to your genes, not down to your product. That's what's in this bottle, I think. So the shades available in the range are 9 super blendable shades, and they also complement the 40 shades that are available in the True Match foundation range. Whether you're going to grab a coffee or you're going to the gym, it's got everyone covered. Look at your skin. You look hydrated, yet you've got that little bit of coverage that we all really, really want.
Keep going.
Some great tips on finding your perfect makeup match there from Jade and Taylor Demir.
Now, Joe, let's go back to protein for a minute. Before the break, we heard about meat versus plant-based protein, and one crucial point was that if your preference is meat-free, you might end up being a little bit low in iron.
So you just have to make it up in your diet from other food sources, no big deal. But what did surprise me is that a staggering 2 billion people worldwide and up to 5% of Aussies are iron deficient. That's because we lose this essential mineral through sweat and blood loss. Preschoolers, teenagers and women are most at risk. So here's some insight into how to stay Iron Man and Iron Woman strong.
Jess, there are many nutrients needed for optimal health, and there's one we've all heard of, which is iron. But there's plenty of people that don't know its actual role within the body. Tell us how it contributes to our health.
Yes, absolutely. So iron is an essential mineral. So that means that we need it, and we need it often in our bodies. So it helps with our immune system, growth and development, and it also helps carry oxygen around our bodies. So there's 2 forms of iron, non-heme and heme iron. So heme iron is in the animal tissues, so in your beef, your chicken, your fish, and your non-heme iron is also in those animal tissues, but it's also in some plant foods such as legumes, spinach, and nuts. So heme iron is more bioavailable and readily absorbed in our body than non-heme iron.
Despite how important it is, iron is one of the most common nutritional deficiencies in the world, with over 2 billion people affected worldwide. What are the physical symptoms we should be looking out for?
There is an array of different symptoms and signs that can point towards iron deficiency or anemia. And the most common one is actually fatigue. And that is the fatigue that doesn't leave your body. You're just constantly tired. And it can be puffing when you're exercising more than you usually have, and also low immunity, brittle nails and pale skin. So a lot of people find that they don't feel like themselves, but they also don't look like themselves because they feel like their skin's a little bit more pale than usual.
So that's the outside of our body. So what's happening on the inside of our body when we're deficient in iron?
Sure. So 2/3 of our iron is actually stored in our hemoglobin. And our hemoglobin is a complex protein that carries oxygen from our lungs around to our body. And our hemoglobin is in our red blood cells. So if we're low in iron, we might not have enough red blood cells, or we might not have enough hemoglobin in those red blood cells to carry oxygen around our body, which can cause us to feel that breathlessness or that faint feeling. So an athlete could be deficient in iron. The reason being because their demand for the iron that they need for the expenditure of energy that they're giving out is high. And also pregnant women are at risk of being deficient in iron because they need more red blood cells for them and their baby. Also young women menstruating women, because of the blood loss per month, can be at risk of being iron deficient.
Aside from food, how else can we incorporate iron into our lives?
So supplementation is an option. Making sure that you pick a high-strength supplement of iron, one with added vitamin C. This helps with the absorption of iron, especially the non-heme version of iron. Also, too, making sure you are picking one that is gentle on your stomach, as we do know that our gut health is really important with absorbing any minerals, especially one as important as iron. You can go to your doctor and get your iron checked. So some of us might be walking around thinking this fatigue is normal. So just get it checked out, or try a supplement, or try adding more iron-rich foods into your diet.
Jess, I'm so tired this week and I keep blaming my 12-week-old baby, but maybe I'm just a little iron deficient.
Yeah, Ross, stop blaming your 12-week-old baby.
No.
Now, Joe, a question I often get asked is how to meditate. I think a lot of people put themselves under pressure in trying to do it. I think the simple answer is don't really need to try, if that makes sense.
I know, it's kind of hard to get your head around. It's impossible to stop the thoughts coming into your head. So it's simply recognising when you've drifted off in thought and then coming back to your breath. My favourite analogy is you're sitting on a bench of a river and you see a little log or a stick come by, you notice it, and then you just let it go and you get back to your breath again.
Yeah, back to your breath, back to the mantra, isn't it? It's a simple practice. There's no magic wand. It's a practice that the more that you do, you reap the benefits, which is why I'm really excited what's happening in the community of Ordinga in South Australia.
It really does make a difference to your mental health, and with 5 million Aussies facing a mental health challenge this year, how about doing nothing for 30 minutes a day this month to raise money for people affected by mental health challenges?
And improve your own mental health at the same time, Joe. It is a brilliant initiative. Now, there's so many fundraisers, as we know, that involve running or walking or cycling, but this one is the first one that encourages you to do nothing but slow down, concentrate on your breath and raise money at the same time.
I just love it. Check out the Do Nothing Challenge, a great thing to do for yourself and for others. You'll find the details on our website.
And that is all for our show today. Make sure you tune into Joe and GQ every Sunday for the House of Wellness radio show.
Check out our Best of You podcast with some great segments, including one on how we can take better care of the 2.65 million carers in Australia. You can get that podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
And this week I talked with Rob Sitch from Working Dog, great creative mind, on the Leadership podcast. So check that one out as well. Thanks as always to our great friends at Chemist Warehouse. Stay well and we'll see you next time.